Breaking news, Bitcoin has entered the blood zone. Take a look. Price action just had the lowest weekly close of the past 125 days. At the same time, breaking critical market structure for the first time in 125 days. At the same time as having resistance at this green line right here, which is remarkably dangerous to hold resistance at this green line. Now it gets even worse. Middle of our screen, the RSI has the lowest pivot since Bitcoin was at $15,000 and $16,000 back in 2022. But here's the star of the show, the Stochastic RSI, the thing that could change it all. What is the latest and greatest on this Stochastic RSI cross? Are we getting closer? And could this turn everything around for Bitcoin? More on all of that in today's show. What we're going to do is discuss all of the facts, how Bitcoin is in the blood zone. Will it get worse? We're going to break down price action. We're going to break down the RSI. We're going to break down this green line here, and we're going to revert it all back to the Stochastic RSI. We're going to go over all of the facts. We're going to lay it out cleanly. You're going to leave this video with a sense of clarity, and at the end of the video, I'm going to be telling you what you should be doing right now based on all of these key facts, especially about the blood zone. Let's get into it. The million-dollar question everyone is begging me for is, will we go lower? So I'm dropping a special bonus video on if I think we will go lower. It'll be completely free to everyone on my email list. If you're on my email list, go to your inbox. The video is waiting for you right now. If you're not on my email list, you're completely missing out. Join my email list right now to immediately unlock this video completely free. CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Again, that's CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Go now, immediately unlock this video completely free. I'll see you on the inside. Hi, I'm Steve. I quit my job over 13 years ago, been traveling the world since, thanks to my trading and investing skills. Join me for sponsorship-free TA with genuine value that actually works. Subscribe. We're on Bitcoin US dollar index, and we are on the weekly chart. We've got three components of today's video. We've got price action, we've got the RSI, and we have the Stochastic RSI. Two of the three are in an absolute blood zone, and the bottom one is what could save us from the blood zone. So let's break each down piece by piece, fact by fact. Let's start with price action. When you look at price action, you can see Bitcoin had a parabolic rise from these lows of 15 and 16,000. You can clearly see it on the chart. What you can also see is for the past 125 days, Bitcoin has been range bound, building critical market structure, but it just broke that on this close that Bitcoin just had hot off the press. We just breached our market structure. Here, this is not up for debate. You can look at the chart. You can see the market structure that we've built over the past 125 days, and you can see this candle right here, hot off the press, with the red body just breaching critical market structure. At the same time, this red body had the lowest close. Not my opinion, bona fide fact. Take a look. Our lowest pivot was right here on our wick. The lowest body of any close of this entire time building structure was the one that just printed. This is hot off the press. Bitcoin has just entered the blood zone. The blood zone is when you break critical market structure. The blood zone is when you're holding resistance at this green moving average. Now, you may ask, what is this green moving average? This is the 21 SMA. SMA is simple moving average. If you take that, put it on your chart, throw on the weekly chart, it will look precisely like this. What you'll notice is if you zoom out and you look at all the bull runs that Bitcoin has ever had, we always hold critical support at this green line through the entirety of the bull run. When you break it, it's a warning sign. A big warning sign of what is to come. And we'll break that down further in this video, but just take a look. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. You can see that for the history of time for Bitcoin, even all the way dating back to 2010, our first bull run, Bitcoin held critical support at that green line. Our second bull run held critical support at that green line in the years of 2012, 2013, and even into 2014, holding critical support at this green line. Also, the rally after that, the bull run after that, in the years of 2015, 2016, and 2017, holding support. You can see the only time in history that we were in the midst of a bull run and broke this yellow line, it was a disaster waiting to happen. Take a look, 2018. We had our market cycle top in 2017. We had a crash. We bottomed out. We rallied in an absolute parabolic way. Everybody started to scream 100K, and then we actually dipped our toes below this green line. Now, if you remember those times in Bitcoin, when we dipped our toe below here, people didn't care. They said, I don't care what Steve says, we're going to 100K. He's saying we're going lower. He's probably on drugs, just like Grandma Betty. I think we're going to the moon. That's what everyone told me. They said, we're going to 100K and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But we had breached this green line. This is a major breach. I just showed you every single bull run, we hold it as support. We broke it here. It was foreshadowing of what's to come. We broke it at a price of just about 10,000, and then we fell to 3,000. You tell me, what's more important? Everybody screaming 100K or this green line? You already know the answer. So you continue further, right? We bottomed out here. We finally got back above the green line, and then we were off to the races. For the rest of the bull run, we held it as support until we broke it here, when everyone still chanted to me that we were going to 100K. I felt that we were not going to 100K because the charts were screaming something else. We had broken this. It was foreshadowing of what's to come, and you know the rest is history. Then we had our absolute bottoming out here, 15, 16, 17,000, when yours truly was screaming that you should buy. And we actually started to break through here and hold it as support. We started out the bull run very strong. We did breach it here. This was our first little warning sign that maybe this bull run wasn't like the others. Maybe this bull run might be weaker than the others. We had the 5.3 theory, which the entire time, even a couple of years ago, projected that we wouldn't get to 100K this cycle. So far, that's held true. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. But there was a little bit of foreshadowing here. There was a warning sign that, hey, maybe this bull run isn't what everyone said it was going to be. Maybe we won't get to 100K. But then we started holding it as support. And just recently, with this candle close, was the second week in a row that we have held this level as resistance. Those are just the facts. If you like facts, you better hit the subscribe button because we're just warming up. The million-dollar question everyone is begging me for is, will we go lower? So I'm dropping a special bonus video on if I think we will go lower. It'll be completely free to everyone on my email list. If you're on my email list, go to your inbox. The video is waiting for you right now. If you're not on my email list, you're completely missing out. Join my email list right now to immediately unlock this video completely free. CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Again, that's CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Go now, immediately unlock this video completely free. I'll see you on the inside. Let's go to the middle of our screen. The RSI, overbought, oversold. The RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. And what we can see now is we're showing a lot of weakness. Plain and simple. There's 3 reasons that are huge that we need to discuss. And let's start from the beginning. If you look at our structure, this is the bottoming of the market. And we built some pretty healthy market structure heading into this pivot high here. Again, this pivot high here, we got up to 88 on the weekly RSI, which at the time, everybody was screaming at me, once again, we're going to 100K. And it just seemed incredibly unlikely because when you zoom out, Bitcoin has been that high, meaning 88 essentially means that everyone was buying Bitcoin. In fact, it was one of the highest rated times in Bitcoin's entire history that everyone in the herd was buying Bitcoin. Meaning, if you zoom out, you can count on your hands how many times we've been that high or higher. In other words, this was one of the most overbought times in Bitcoin's history. In other words, this is one of the largest amount of herd members were buying Bitcoin at that moment. At that moment, Bitcoin happened to be above 73,000, sitting pretty. The whole world was captivated. Bitcoin kept rising every day, higher and higher and higher, and people were making money, and they were telling their friends, and more herd members were getting in, and we were at one of the highest herd member buying places, and we were above 73,000, sitting pretty, and everyone was chanting for 100K. And at the time, it was incredibly unpopular what I had to say, but this is what I had to say when we were sitting pretty above 73,000. Roll the clip. Attention cryptocurrency investors and traders. There is a major correction coming to the crypto space that will take the world by storm and surprise most, but it's going to present one of the best buying opportunities of this bull run if you've missed out so far. So at the time that I put that out, it was remarkably unpopular. Nobody believed what I had to say except the people who actually follow me and know, hey, Steve called the bottom when we were at 15, 16,000. He was beating us over the head, telling us to buy Bitcoin when everyone else was screaming we were going below 10K. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. You can see how things turned out. 15 and 16,000 was the bottom. And you can see how things turned out. 73,000 was a pretty smart time to get out of Bitcoin. And we've had a pretty heavy crash or correction that surprised everybody since then. At the time, it wasn't a popular thing to say, but we can see how things have played out. So what happens now? Well, one of the things we have to talk about is you go back to the RSI. We talked about overbought, oversold. It goes from a range of 0 up to 100. Anytime it gets above 70, it's time to start thinking about taking profits. Anytime it gets below 30, it's time to start thinking about buying. In the big picture, this is what's true for the history of mankind for anything that has a chart, especially on the weekly chart. You pull up your favorite altcoin, you pull up your favorite stock, you look at it. If we're above 70, time to start thinking about profits. If we're below 30, time to start thinking about buying. Simply put, this will save you so much time, energy, and effort. The problem is, Grandma Betty, the leader of the herd, once we get above 70, she's screaming that we're going a lot higher, and she gets all of her herd members involved, and they all start buying. They're supposed to be doing the opposite. Why don't they? Emotion. Now, here is what is critical. We were up there above 88. I warned everybody. We have crashed from 88 all the way down into the 40s. Now, why is this important? Because we breached the 50 level. We've also breached this level. We've also breached lower than we have been since we were at the bottom of the market. Now, there could be a hidden gem here, but I just want to state the obvious. If you go back and you look at all of the Bitcoin bull runs and you look at the 50 level of the RSI on the weekly chart, right? Let's just take a look at the 50 level. Now, our first bull run right here, 2010, 2011, 2012, we stayed above 50 by a mile. The whole bull run had the RSI above 50. The whole bear market had the RSI below 50. Then we move into the next bull run. Well, guess what? That bull run had the whole time above 50. And guess what? The next bear market, the whole time below 50. So a simple rule is when Bitcoin in the RSI on the weekly scale is above 50, it's very healthy. Bull run, looking good. When we're below 50, there's a problem, a big problem, potentially a bloodbath. Even in the next one, 2015, 2016, 2017, the entirety of that bull run above 50. We go into the bear market, the entirety of the bear market below 50. We go into the next one. Now, this is where things get interesting. This is the only time that Bitcoin was in the midst of a bull and breached the 50 level. We actually went all the way down into 33. Which again, very, very close to remarkable buying opportunity with that golden rule I just stated to you. Just simply put, you want to be buying down here and you want to be taking profits up here. It's a testament of the time for Bitcoin. You look at 14 years of data, this simple rule I just gave you would have made you so much money, and it would have saved you so much money. Simple rules are the best rules. But why is this noteworthy? Bitcoin has just breached the 50 level. This is not my opinion. This is a bona fide fact laying right in front of our eyes. Now, what could help us is this pivot low from September 2023. We're going to see how we deal with this pivot low. And it's very fresh. This is very new. But this pivot low actually coincides with this pivot from back in January 22. It was our resistance here. It was our support here. And that same level goes all the way back to September 2019, right? This level plays out time and time again, and Bitcoin is going to try its very best to hold this structure. But what's below it is the only structure we had below it is here, back when Bitcoin was quite literally at 15, 16, 17,000. Right? That's incredibly noteworthy because we went from a tremendously overbought area, an absolute plummet. However, the price action hasn't plummeted nearly as much. Keep that in mind. This is a big clue. Now, let's understand this. We talked about price action. We talked about this green line. We talked about this pivot low. We talked about 2 candles in a row, 2 weekly candles holding resistance at this green line. We talked about just breaching structure, first time in 125 days. We talked about the RSI, lowest pivot in a long time since our market bottom of 15, 16,000. We're going to try to hold this pivot. We understand all of these facts are starting to pile in, but there's one thing that could change everything, and that's the bottom of our screen, the stochastic RSI. That's our momentum. We understand we're in rough shape with price action. We're in rough shape with our RSI. There's one thing that could turn both of those around quickly, and that's momentum. And what is our momentum doing now? Well, our momentum's in trouble, right? Now, when you look at our momentum, again, this is the stochastic RSI. It also has the same range as the RSI. If you ask, well, they sound pretty similar. What's the difference with the RSI and the stochastic RSI? The RSI, I want you to remember, overbought, oversold. When something is overbought, when people are buying it too much, you want to be selling. And when something is oversold, you want to be buying. So RSI, overbought, oversold. Stochastic RSI, momentum. Plain and simple. They run on the same scale, 0 to 100. So simply put, when something is up here at 100, you want to be taking profits. We don't have any momentum to continue above 100. 100 is quite literally the top of the top of the top. Anytime we got to the top of the top of the top, it's a pretty smart time to take profits. Take a look right here, right? We got up to the top of the top of the top, we plummeted in price. Here, we got up to the top of the top of the top, plummeted in price. Here, we got up to the top of the top of the top, plummeted in price. It's a simple area to look at no matter what altcoin you're looking at, right? Now, the same is true at the bottom. You would like to buy at a stochastic RSI cross up. That means our momentum is going to be heading from near 0, heading upwards. Anytime you have the blue line on top, generally price rises with it. Anytime you have the orange line on top, generally price falls with that downward momentum of pressure. So in other words, what you also want to look at is the timetable. Bitcoin has repeatable patterns, and it's had them for the history of time for Bitcoin. Generally, every 6 months, we have a stochastic RSI cross up. Every 6 months, like clockwork. We come in, we have a stochastic RSI cross, and out of the blue, prices start pumping, and people are like, oh my God, what's causing this price? And then they'll blame it on some news event. It's actually the stochastic RSI, like clockwork, every 6 months. The good news is I'm going to explain to you when I believe we're about to have our next one. But take a look. We had one here in July 2021. 6 months later, we had one here in January 2022. 6 months later, we had one here in July 2022. You get the point. Every 6 months, we have one, and it marks the biggest moves of that time period. You have to think about it. Every year, we generally just have 2 of them. So each year you have 2 really good opportunities to buy Bitcoin to ride that momentous wave up. What usually happens is you buy when Grandma Betty, the leader of the herd, is screaming. And she's always screaming when we're up here at 100 on a momentum. Now you know, don't listen to her. She's always been crazy. When you look at it, Bitcoin had its prior cross here in February 2024, when Bitcoin's price was at a measly 42,000, and we went from 42,000 up above 73 when somebody told you above 73 we're going to have some problems, right? But that big jump was our prior Stochastic RSI cross. What happened was we're scheduled to have a cross potentially around, middle to end of July into August. That was supposed to happen. However, we had this fake out here. We had a fake out cross back in May. Back in May, prices were about at 55,000. And then we had this little Stochastic RSI cross, an actual false signal. But we did go from 55 up to about 70, 71. But again, it was a fake out cross. And what's interesting is our structure told us very clearly. The structure of this pivot low was resistance at the structure of our fake out. And it just happened too early. It was ahead of schedule. It's supposed to be roughly every 6 months. So when you look at it, you can say, okay, we're down here in momentum. No wonder why Bitcoin's price is having trouble. We don't have any momentum and we're losing our market structure. We're having resistance at the green line. We're breaking our structure in the RSI. We're in this bloodbath zone. Obviously, now it all makes sense. We have no momentum to help Bitcoin get out of the hole. So what do we expect to happen with our momentum? Well, when you look at it, our prior one was in February. We understand 6 months after that is talking about that early August area, potentially middle of July into the August area. That's what we're looking at for potential Stochastic RSI cross up. Now, just be ready. There's going to be a lot of bearishness in the market. Prices going down. But mark my words, when Bitcoin has a Stochastic RSI cross up, there's going to be a lot of momentum in the market and prices are going to start pumping. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, how did this happen? This happened out of the blue. And you're going to look on your weekly chart and you're going to say, nope, every 6 months like clockwork, this is what happens. So it leaves us to the question, well, what should you be doing right now? We talked about all of the bona fide facts of price action, of RSI, of the Stochastic RSI. What I want you to be doing right now is really, really simple. What I want you to be doing is taking a close look at the Stochastic RSI cross. Here's a cheat code that you can do. Right now, we're on the weekly chart. If you want to look at what's coming in the future, you can go to the 6-day chart. You can go to the 5-day chart, and it will give you a little bit of foreshadowing of how this is going to play out. Because simply put, once we have our blue line cross back above this orange line, momentum is going to come in the market. But will it be enough? And in the meantime, are we going to go lower? That's what I did a bonus video on, completely free. You can unlock it immediately, completely free by going to CryptoCrewUniversity.com. I'll see you on the inside. The million-dollar question everyone is begging me for is, will we go lower? So I'm dropping a special bonus video on if I think we will go lower. It'll be completely free to everyone on my email list. If you're on my email list, go to your inbox. The video is waiting for you right now. If you're not on my email list, you're completely missing out. Join my email list right now to immediately unlock this video completely free. CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Again, that's CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Go now, immediately unlock this video completely free. I'll see you on the inside. This bull run is our road to 500,000 subscribers, but I need your help. Today, tell one person about our YouTube channel, how we spit facts, go against the herd, take no paid sponsorships of any kind. Road to 500,000, let's go.